I don't want to spend a lot of time relitigating the past, but it is important to understand why, 5 months after Robbie Ramirez was killed by an officer of this county, we have a room packed full of concerned residents.
Last November, Albany County Sheriff's Corporal Derek Calling shot and killed an unarmed Laramie resident named Robbie Ramirez.
Derek Calling is on administrative leave now for killing a Laramie man during a traffic stop. Family of Robbie Ramirez say he has schizophrenia and fear police.
We have learned that Calling was previously an officer in Las Vegas where he fatally shot a teenager in 2009. Calling was later fired in 2011 after beating a man who was filming police.
A group of Albany County residents formed in response to demand transparency and accountability from county officials, as well as reforms to local law enforcement. Albany County for Proper Policing, or ACoPP, gathered signatures from more than 800 Albany County residents to demand the release of body and dashcam footage and Calling's disciplinary records in the days after the shooting.
And you are delivering this for the Board of County Commissioners, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
The group produced a video announcing the release of Ramirez's autopsy findings, which helped the public understand what happened during the shooting.
The second two shots, or shots B and C as they're labeled, were directly into his back.
ACoPP hosted a community forum where residents gathered to discuss ways to ensure safe and accountable policing.
So the purpose of tonight is to collect as much input as we can from our fellow residents of Albany County in terms of input about what the community wants from local law enforcement.
And when an internal police investigation helped clear Corporal Calling of criminal charges and he went back to work, ACoPP organized community members to speak out.
Anybody can give a public testimony. They're probably going to give you 3 minutes, and which you should stick to your talking point. And also be very courteous and respectful. We're probably not going to get any answers today. The best we can hope for is that they will investigate and look into this. Anybody need more donuts, more coffee?
The thing about police and use of force is that once you discharge that weapon, you're responsible. You're going to be held responsible in the court of law or in the court of public opinion.
The one thing we expect out of our police officers more than anything else is good judgment and self-control. And from what I've been able to deduce, that Derek Calling failed on both counts.
Why the county continues to employ someone that has murdered not one but 3 individuals is beyond me. He got fired for beating a videographer up in Las Vegas.
Sheriff O'Malley has stated that he never watched the video from that attack because he didn't want to bias the hiring process. However, his job was and is to be biased in favor of public safety.
I actually have many friends with schizophrenia, and my first initial thought was, what if it had happened to them?
This isn't just merely about one officer. This is about your community, your citizenry, your neighbors not feeling safe.
Spending approximately $52,000 a year on a deputy who can't or won't de-escalate situations is not fiscal responsibility.
Do you hear that? It's a ticking time bomb. I submit to you that we have a personality employed to protect and serve us that would be more suited to mercenary work with Blackwater.
Since November, we don't feel the issue of the shooting has been handled in a transparent manner. And I'm not just talking about what is legally required for transparency. Those of the ACLU, I have to tell you, we don't feel that bar was even met.
When we pledged allegiance to the flag, at the beginning of this, the last words of that pledge were liberty and justice for all. But Robbie lost all of his liberty on November 4th, 2018, and justice has not been served.
You have to do something. You can't just let this go on. Obviously, Sheriff O'Malley is not going to. I don't know what is so special about his friendship with the Callings that he's willing to put our whole community in jeopardy. I don't want anyone else to go through what we've gone through.
Despite hearing loud and clear that their constituents want change, Albany County officials have taken no action. They have pushed back against community engagement and essentially told residents to shut up and trust law enforcement.
As the time comes, you'll be included. But right now, we want to put together law enforcement.
As far as having the citizens participate, it has to come after there's a basic organized framework for the conversation, or it's going to turn into a shit show. You need to knock this shit off and let us do the process that we need to do.
ACoP will continue to mobilize Albany County residents to respectfully demand transparency, accountability, and reforms to local law enforcement. We want to make sure no more unarmed civilians die at the hands of officers, and that community members have a voice in determining how we will be policed. Join us to work for proper policing in Albany County.